Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Lunchtime Poetry. I'm Lorie and today I will be reading you poems from Emily Dickinson. Poems. And I'm going to start with the prelude to the first collection, which was published after her death in 1890. This is my letter to the world that never wrote to me, that simple news that nature told with tender majesty. Her message is committed to hands I cannot see. For love of her, sweet countrymen, judge tenderly of me. Only 10 of Emily Dickinson's poems were published during her lifetime, all of which were submitted by friends against her wishes. The rest of her poetry was published posthumously. And I'm going to read In a Library. A precious, moldering pleasure 'tis to meet an antique book, in just the dress his century wore, a privilege, I think, his venerable hand to take, and warming in our own, a passage back, or two, to make to times when he was young. His quaint opinions to inspect, his knowledge to unfold, on what concerns our mutual mind, the literature of old. What interested scholars most, what competitions ran, when Plato was a certainty and Sophocles a man, when Sappho was a living girl and Beatrice wore the gown that Dante deified, facts, centuries before. He traverses familiar as one should come to town, and tell you all your dreams were true. He lived where dreams were born. His presence is enchantment. You beg him not to go. Old volumes shake their vellum heads and tantalize just so. And that's In a Library. Next, I'm going to read A Thunderstorm. The wind begun to rock the grass with threatening tunes, and lo, he flung a menace at the earth, a menace at the sky. The leaves unhooked themselves from trees and started all abroad. The dust did scoop itself like hands and throw away the road. The wagons quickened on the streets, the thunder hurried slow. The lightning showed a yellow break and then a livid claw. The birds put up the bars to nests, the cattle fled to barns. There came one drop of giant rain, and then, as if the hands that held the dams had parted hold, the waters wrecked the sky. But overlooked my father's house, just quartering a tree. And that's A Thunderstorm. And finally, the very first poem I ever learned by Emily Dickinson. It's called A Book. There is no frigate like a book to take us lands away, nor any coursers like a page of prancing poetry. This traverse may the poorest take without oppressive toll. How frugal is the chariot that bears a human soul. I think one of the reasons I always loved Emily Dickinson is because of her great book poetry about books and libraries and such. I hope you've enjoyed today's edition of Lunchtime Poetry. I'm Lorie, and I'll see you again here tomorrow at noon at the Manlius Library YouTube channel. Have a great day and happy Poetry Month.